Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City. This is a ReMOC video, which means it's a remake of an existing LEGO set. And the set you see before you is the Winter Village Fire Station set 10263. It is a Christmas or winter themed set, and every year LEGO does release a set based on this theme. I have remocked past winter sets before, such as the Winter Toy Store, and that was changed into a cafe and bookstore. For this remock, I want to change this set into a modular style build. Originally, I wanted to build it to the scale of my small brick town project, which is 12 studs wide by 16 studs deep. However, the build of this is already more than 12 studs. I do want to retain the essence of the build, and I want to try to keep as much of the original build as possible. I do not want to do a full rebuild because in my own criteria for remocs, I should try to keep the essence of the build, and as far as possible, I want to retain the structure and the aesthetic design, especially when the designers have already put so much work into creating all this intricate detail. One of the things I probably will take out is the winter theme. So all these melting ice parts will likely be removed, or maybe I'll keep them in first and then I'll take them out after the season is over. But more than likely, we're going to lose the Christmas tree, this little pond or lake for ice skating, and the fire truck, because I doubt there'll be space to put it in. But you never know. I'm still thinking of ways to incorporate some of the elements into the build. Due to the existing size of the build, I won't be able to build it with the small brick town size dimensions, so I'm going to try to go for a half modular building, which means building it on a 16 by 32 stud base plate. Here's the challenge. The width currently of this front portion is 14 studs wide. If I do want to do a true modular, which can be set in line between modular buildings, it has to be 16 studs wide, which means I have to add bricks. And obviously that will also change the structural build of this set. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do. I do know that I'm going to shift these two portions, that tower over there with the fire pole, and this section to the back. So that forms kind of the back of the building, and I do believe they probably would just fit in terms of the space required. That will still leave me room a bit for the front and for the back, so we'll see what we can do there. I've no idea how this is going to turn out, so let's see what happens. And here's my completed remock of the Winter Village Fire Station into a modular building. Before I go into an in-depth review of this remock, let me give a shout out and a big thank you to all the viewers who gave suggestions on what I should do with this build. So thank you to Aussie Adam, Johnny Bricks, Brick Bakery, Marquez Johnson, Anonymous Anteater, Thai Bricks, Blockhead UK, Elmel Jifro, Dr. McBrick, One Stone, Brick of Galom, Electric Lego, Darius Dojo, Lego La Maniac, or maybe it's Lego LA Maniac, Cody Brooks, Jason Chapman, Benita Defren, Pacific CY, Iceberg Bricks, Roman, L. Martin, Joe McLeod Iredale, Kai Mullins, Aiden0206, Brick Trucker Nick, Julie Master HD, PT McEwen, Too Humble, Kaz's Bricks, Robert Shell, and Torak Videos. Thank you for your suggestions and for taking the time to think about it. It's really heartwarming to know that so many of you replied. Hopefully we'll get the same kind of response for a future mock or remock. An overwhelming number of people wanted me to keep this as a fire station, or at least keep to the exterior of a fire station. I have listened, and that's exactly what I've done. I've kept many of the original elements from the original build, such as the flag, the roof design with the bell and this edging, the double windows with the bar elements, down to this curved archway to the large doors and these pipe decorations. But I did change things around to fit the dimensions and proportions for the modular building I wanted. I increased the height of each floor by 6 to 7 bricks, so that's pretty high. That's why it doesn't look so stout, it looks more sleek, and it's in line with typical modular buildings, especially the ones in my small brick city. But I did change the elements around to fit my proportions, and here are some of the changes I made. Over here you can see I added these masonry bricks on either side. I think this adds a nice contrast to these flat bricks or regular dark red bricks. At the same time, for this arched doorway, I changed the doors themselves. The original doors were red, but I felt this should look like an old-time building, and the bright red just didn't fit the overall design, so I used these wooden-looking doors instead. I moved these bar decorations over to the right. So these, I guess, look like pipe cylinders. I increased the height and I moved them to either side of the door and recessed them. And I feel this better frames the door. It gives more attention to this main archway. In the original design, these pipe decorations were right in front of the door, and I felt that was really distracting and it did not look good. This works much better in my opinion. I moved these lamps, which were originally from the side of the building, to the front, so that frames the door as well. And this siren that was moved from the outside or the side of the building to the front over here. I did add this layer of brick plate, and that was really just due to the modular design and the height of the overall build. For knowledgeable LEGO fans, you'd notice this decoration. This comes from the expert modular building, the Fire Brigade. So I added a replica of that design to this build in a way to, call reference back to that set. But also it fills in the space after I raised the building. And more importantly, you can tell right from the first viewing that this is a fire station. Let's go around to the sides. I had to add a lot of bricks. Well, I won't say a lot, but I definitely had to add other bricks beyond these red bricks because I didn't have enough of these red bricks. And for a modular building, I had to create a back and extend the sides because in the original build, there was no back. So in total, I probably added about 100 more bricks all around. And a lot of the bricks that I added were these masonry dark gray bricks. I did it because I didn't have enough red bricks, and I also wanted to create more texture in the design because a lot of times modular buildings are very plain on the side. It seems there's not much attention given to that design. So I wanted to put in some design, and it's worked out pretty well. That's the second reason. I used a lot of plates and modified bricks for the build or for the walls to act as holders for decorations on the interior. So this is camouflage with these masonry dark bricks, so that works out well. You can see how I've added to the height of the build with the dark gray and light gray bricks. Another thing I like to point out is this design I've added over here. Because of the use of these dark gray masonry bricks, the light gray bricks and the red bricks, I could add in some design. This was definitely visually inspired by the Ghostbusters HQ, and I've actually replicated this on the other side, so it's a mirror image, so there's a nice symmetry in design. For the back, this is something I had to create from scratch because there's no back for the original design. For the ground floor, I added a lamp which is identical to the ones on the front, a recess center with 2 doors. I built a set of steps with a small landing that goes up to a second floor of a door. For this top floor, this tower, which is what holds the fire pole, I retained this completely, but I built it and I changed the orientation so that it faces the back, so that we see this ornate grille pieces. The roof edging was moved from the side to the back because this is a modular building, so I didn't need to have anything on the side since this is set between 2 buildings. And that's why I had enough of these roof pieces, which are basically modified plates with clips, to create this roof edging. On the ground floor or outside, you can see just a bit of decoration. We've got a rubbish bin, which is on plates in front of the supports for the stairs. And we also have a small bench. This was actually modified from the original bench. I just made it shorter. And you can see this is the same design pattern as the other side. And that's what I meant by the symmetry in patterns. Oh, one more important feature that I'd like to highlight. One thing that I retained besides the fire pole, which runs from the second floor down to the first floor, is the light brick. And the light brick is on top over here. And if I give it a press, you can see even in this bright light, it lights up the inside of the second floor. And the reason is because there's actually a hole in the top of the roof, so the light brick actually shines directly down into the second floor. This was part of the original design, and I'm very happy that I managed to keep that with this particular ReMOC. At this point, you might be thinking, what did I do with the interior of the build? Did I keep it as a fire station, or did I change it into something else? I know many people gave different suggestions, and I definitely listened, and I also incorporated it with my own ideas. So let me show you what I did with it, but first let me show you the top. Here's a look at the top of the roof. I did change the proportion of the roof due to the new size of this modular building, but I managed to use most of the original base plates. I added an air conditioning unit, and that's the light brick I talked about earlier. This tower was retained. I didn't change it at all. I managed to incorporate it into my build. Alright, with that, let me show you what I did with the interior. First, a little backstory. This is a firehouse, or rather, it is called the firehouse. This was originally a fire station, but is preserved as kind of a heritage building. That's why it still looks like a fire station. And it is called the Firehouse, but it is the Firehouse Tavern. This is a drinking spot for my Lego city, and it is a fire station themed tavern. And over here you can get a look inside. There's a bar counter with a barmaid, and there are glasses and bottles behind her, as well as a sink. You might notice a fireman on the pole. That's obviously not a real fireman, that's a mannequin as part of the wall decorations. So as a minifig comes into the tavern, they'll see all these decorations. I used a lot of the small builds from the original set, such as this fire extinguisher and radio. And over here, this is the bunker bed from the original set, and there are nice decorative tile pieces. These are stickers. But these are the fire hoses from the fire engine, which I've used as wall decorations. And there's also the red telephone on the bar counter where customers would sit. And here we have some boxes with some tools, and on the other side you can see a dog bone, because we have the Dalmatian from the original set, and that's Spotty. Let's have a look at the bar counter. So the bar counter seems quite, I won't call it cluttered, but definitely very busy, just like a real bar. There's a beer keg over there. Behind you can see all the glasses on that table. And this is the bar counter, which is actually quite unique. And I designed it such that I can remove it because it's held in place by jumpers. So let me just take that out, because I'm going to show you what I did with this bar counter. I built this from parts of the fire engine. This is actually the back part of the fire engine, and I repurposed the parts, added in what looks like grills and pipes to create a bar counter. And on this side you can see the beer taps with some glasses of beer, empty glasses, a coffee maker, and a cash register. So I thought that's pretty cool. And throughout this build you'll see a lot of these different fire themed elements or fire station elements within the build. So I really maximized the different parts to decorate this firehouse tavern. So here's the idea. You can come into the main door, although only one door opens due to the fact that the bar counter is in the way, which you don't see right now because I took it out. But basically you can come in, order a beer, and stay on this ground floor and chat with the pretty barmaid, or you can go out through the back door and go up the steps to the second floor, which I'm going to show you right now. But first I'd just like to highlight, you see this bar, this is the fire pole that came with the original set. So I built it such that it extends out of the first floor, but on this side here, which is my second floor, on the underside there's a hole, and I've actually got the rest of the fire pole, but I've just built it such that this fits over this pole. And if I have to take off the roof, you will see that it will look continuous. So let's Can you see that right there? You can see it looks pretty much continuous, but there's actually 2 poles and it looks like it goes down all the way. Now this fire pole feature is just decorative in the context of this tavern. So it's retained, of course, because this is a firehouse, but it's not used. That's why I have this glass panel, which is basically allows the people at this booth in the second floor to look down at the fire pole. And there's a railing over here, and that's so that no one actually jumps on it. But I guarantee you, when a minifig drinks too much, someone would actually jump down to go down the fire pole. Well, this is the second floor, which is a cozy little upstairs booth area where you can have private parties, or if you're lucky enough, you can come up to get a seat. And there are different decorations such as another fire extinguisher. This is a picture of the old fire chief, a clock, and you might recognize this jukebox. This is actually from the Downtown Diner set, but in a previous video tutorial I taught you my upgraded jukebox, so I then had this lying around because my upgraded jukebox went into my Downtown Diner. But I think this red piping look really works well with my fire station MOC, and it adds to the decoration, and it makes sense to be right here in the second floor tavern. But here is the highlight of the second floor, and that is the main booth, which is built from the fire engine or the fire truck, and this is held in place by jumper plates, so I can remove it just like that. Now if you go to many of these themed bars or restaurants, they do cut up vehicles or cars like taxis or Cadillacs to form booths, and that's exactly what I did. I cut this fire engine in half, added in a base with a kind of a piping look, added some grills, added a seat and a tabletop, and ta-da! We have a fire engine booth. I think this is pretty cool and really adds to the overall build, and I managed to maximize the small builds of the set, and I didn't let them go to waste. I hope you enjoyed this look at my ReMOC for the Winter Village Fire Station and the transformation of it into a modular building and into the Firehouse Tavern. Please let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what's your favorite feature of the ReMOC. Do you think I did a good job in keeping to the essence of the build, but still recreating something brand new? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We're almost reaching 3,000 subscribers, and I've got a special giveaway planned. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.